evening, everybody. It is Slipstream League Racing round number 18 here from the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. I'm Terror Incognita, and alongside me once again, as per usual, is Thimo.
Hello. So today it is COTA. We're running here at Strict, and if you have a look at the track layout, you can see that having strict track limits can be pretty harsh at this track. So I think that will shake up the old to levels where it was at Russia, for example. Sochi is also pretty harsh, and we're completely everything was thrown around there already. So here it will be a bit more of a mess, I think, even.
Yep.
So that could be quite interesting, but also a bit annoying to follow for us. But that's what we're here for. So.
Yep, I think that's absolutely right. Yeah, lots of penalties, which we know pretty well, to be honest, because we did the 6-hour race here last weekend, and you get off tracks there as well.
I know we would mention it.
Regularity, yeah, absolutely.
Also, it is double dry.
Yep, it is. Yep, Ocean Chief messaged me as well with that, so that's good news. We get to see some nice close racing with dry weather. So,
and Miloš Martika is the first one in chat.
Hey, Miloš Martika. Welcome to everyone watching, and welcome to Miloš as well.
By the way, delayed announcement about some driver roster changes. Briggy, who has absorbed some races for Red Bull, will step down from his role in the league, and replaced by apparently keyboard driver Harzer. He is now a Red Bull full-time driver. He had some good races, and Ocean Chief called him a keyboard warrior, so either he gets upset or he's driving with a keyboard. Or both.
Yeah, I assume it's because he's driving with a keyboard.
Yeah,
it's,
probably, because that's what I started calling Anonymous when he was still on a keyboard.
Yeah. So, yeah, good stuff. Harzer in the league. He's in the Red Bull alongside Gloves and Steering Wheel. We're watching Toto, who's the other man who is back in the league, or in the league for the first time, in fact, because he has raced a lot in 2SRL, but never in SLR. So this is his first SLR race. Toto is, of course, Tok Thomas, for those of you who remember, in 2SRL. So we're going to watch. He's the first one, I think, to start. Oh, there's a car in front of us. I don't know who the car in front of us is, but Toto is the second person to start a lap here at COTA, and he's going to have to contend with a little bit of traffic coming out of the pits.
Also, Wimpy is missing today. He is not driving, so that's the reason. Toto, why do I get... Okay, my sound is glitched. Interesting. So that's the reason we got Toto in the Toro Rosso car to replace him, and also I think we have got Tats, who is a completely new reserve driver, who will make his debut as well. He is in the... Is that a Haas?
It's a Haas, yeah, it is, absolutely. He's in the Haas,
yes, so who's he replacing then? Speedy's there?
I know Harzer has been in that seat a little bit, but he wasn't a full-time driver. I don't know who the full-time driver was.
No, that wasn't Mercedes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
We're totally, completely well informed. We don't totally know what's going on.
But yeah, he's Speedy's teammate for today, and yeah, Hugo's of course was in that seat earlier in the season before he went over to race mostly in 2SRL, and instead now we have Tats, who is a new driver, as Thimo mentioned. Game audio could be a little louder, says Ocean Chief. So let's try doing that, and let me know how that is. I hope that's fixed. And he does a 1:30.7, by the way, very fast first lap. Toto crosses the line second. He does a 1:33.1, and there's a few drivers setting good lap times now. Copy with his usual early fast lap.
On soft tires in P4.
Oh, as per usual.
That is lap ultra soft, so he's not sandbagging with lower tires, putting in banker laps on other tires for strategy. I have no idea how strategy goes here. To my experience, you just pit, then you heat a sausage cup, and then you pit again. So that is basically the go-to tactic. But if you can't do that because there are no sausage cup in F1 game bad, then you just go to another strategy. Probably one stop is possible. Probably.
Yep.
I think with the jump to the soft tires, you should definitely be able to do ultra soft into soft.
Yep, I would have thought so, and it's a slow pit lane here, I think, as well. So
is it? Okay.
I think so, yeah. So you don't really want to be pitting more than once if you can possibly help it. So yeah, ultra soft to soft, I think, is what you really want to be doing. A couple of drivers gone out on supers as well, but yeah, Sergios is the only person to have gone on the softs as per usual.
Oh, lol. Oops.
Yeah, so it's ultras, supers, and then softs. So yeah, I think you need to be doing ultra soft to soft if you want to. I don't think you can do ultra soft to supers. I think that's too much. But who knows? We will see what the drivers decide to do.
Also, oh my god, as Anonymous spectacularly misses the pit entrance and has to go onto another lap.
Oh dear.
I just switched onto him and he was locking up all over the place on the inside. And yeah, that didn't look...
Not ideal for him then.
I'm going to assume that was by accident. Because why would you do anything else?
Yeah, if you're trying to enter the pit lane.
Really worn down.
It's quite easy to do. We saw a few people last week in the LMP1 cars spinning on their way into the pits because it's a difficult pit lane to negotiate.
Yeah. Just never see the breaking point, though.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, I was just going onto the pit limiter and then hoping he would bring me in, and I didn't care about the second loss. Because why would I?
There's a bunch of cars who have gone back into the pits and I think are on their way out again, but one or two on their flying laps at the moment. Gloves and steering wheel going around the S's at the moment. Really spectacular section, the S's. You got to get the line right. It's a lot of fun. And then into this very slow right-hander. Missed the apex there, and that will be probably a cut track warning or track extend warning for gloves and steering wheel.
Toto abandons his lap. He is on soft tires. He's currently in P7. So
okay. So yeah,
great pace by him. I don't know why he has got that pace, but whatever.
I think he's on. They're super softs, right? They're the red tires.
Yeah, soft. Yeah, super soft. Exactly.
Yeah. So he is on the middle compound.
As well as Danico, his teammate, is currently on super softs. In P9. I mean, he's not currently on super softs, but his best lap so far was on super soft tires. If I'm not completely mistaken, does the graphic lie to me? Because it says they have no laps of running.
I think that's the... Is that the fitted tire? Oh, I don't know actually.
No, I put it to
best. Yeah, I don't know.
His fitted is an ultra soft set.
Well, maybe that's a... I think the 0 laps is just the... like 0 completed laps before that one or something like that. I don't know, because most drivers have 0 out there. So the people with 1 lap will have been... That will be their second flying lap, as it were. I think. But I don't know, honestly.
That makes sense. Also, with the only ones who have got 1 lap on their tire, who have put 1 lap, were the ones with super softs or softs, apart from Tats and gloves and steering wheel. Do you think the reason so many people haven't set a lap yet are penalties? Invalidations? Because
yeah,
it seems
I'm sure that's the case. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. Because yeah, I think everybody has gone out at least once at this point. As we see Etney running a little bit wide. He's going to stay in it though, so I guess he didn't get invalidated there. Into the hairpin now. Going to get as good an exit as he can. That was very clean exit. Got a little bit of oversteer on the exit, but still good. Down the long straight now. All the way up to 200 plus miles per hour. 204, 205, 206 at the end of the straight, and then hard braking into this very tight left-hand hairpin, then across the other side of the track for this right-hand hairpin. Turn in nice and early, clip the yellow sausage on the right, and then through this little twisty bit, and this is a really tricky corner. You've got to start out wide, carry as much speed through as you can, get on the power as early as you can on the exit, and then it's flat out through this long right-hander.
Oh!
And very nice from Etney into the penultimate corner now. Can't run too wide there. That was pretty much perfect. Well, I guess it wasn't perfect, so he obviously did invalidate at some point because he's coming into the pits. And that was the end of his lap.
Is now probably coming across the line, if I'm not completely mistaken. He enters the last corner for the short run to the line there, and he sets, I don't see the time, but
31.9, so he goes 4th. So good stuff from Triton.
Jason and ahead of Michael.
So
second row of the grid.
So we still got an all-Sauber front row. It's Etney and then Copy. Don't have a lap yet from Speedy. He and Tipsy are the only two people not to have set a lap at all yet. So we'll see if they can do anything. Tipsy's on an out lap at the moment. Speedy also on an out lap at the moment. Just come out of the pits.
Wait, where's Benz? Benz is in P13.
Benz is, yeah, 13th, which he'll want to...
I think something... Either he's really bad at this track, or he messed up his lap.
Well, we know he has struggled on this track in the past, so it might be that he's just struggling with the track. I don't know. It's not too bad a lap time. It's only, if we discount Etney, it's only what, a second and a half off pace. Jason has gone P2 in the Force India as well, so good lap from Jason. Just half a second behind Etney.
I'm still waiting for Sergius to do something. He's now on super soft tires. Currently running in P7. He should be able to improve this time by like half a second, at least.
Yep, I would have thought so. So that'll put him up into the top 5.
Onto the second row of the grid, threatening Triton and Copy. Definitely Michael.
Oh, as Tipsy gets a whole waddload of opposite lock there. Then the left-hander at the end of Sector 1. Into the hairpin now he goes. Again, runs a little bit wide. Gets on the power nicely on the exit.
And Sergius gets into the pit, so I assume he probably got an invalidated lap.
Yep, very possibly. Speedy about to start his lap. I'm going to follow on board with him for a little bit.
So I don't think the pit lane is too slow, because if I saw it right on the steering wheel, then it is a 80 kilometers per hour pit lane, so pretty much the standard.
Yeah, that's
it is also not really long. It's a bit. It has a bit of a long part, but most pit lanes do.
Yeah, and you actually get to cut the final corner out, as it were. So yeah, maybe it's not too bad. Maybe you can do a second pit stop. As we see Speedy going through the S's. Got to get the line just right there. It's particularly difficult with the pad. He ran a little bit wide in the left-hander that compromised him for the next right-hander. It's pretty good overall, though. Oh, and there's very wide entry there. Looked pretty good. Ran a bit wide onto the exit there of the left-hander. Still in it, though, so obviously you can get away with that by the looks of it. Tipsy obviously made a pretty major mistake on his lap. He did a 42.8. Yep, Sausage Fest 2019, absolutely. That's what it is. And they're not quite as bad as they are in the iRacing version of the track, but still pretty punishing if you get onto them. Yeah.
Also, good luck to Bilosh in his Dodge Rally campaign. Yeah, I thought about getting the one as well, but then University said, you're staying right here.
Yep,
and then,
absolutely. Oh, Speedy, that was some traffic that didn't really get out of his way. Who was that?
Copy?
I don't know who that was. Maybe it was Copy. So Speedy crosses the line and does a 1 minute 31.6, so he goes P5 in the Haas.
No, it was Tats.
It was Tats, okay, yeah, that was not really how you want to be letting leaders through. That was quite scary, I think, for Speedy.
Yeah, GTE trauma. Am I mentioning this too much? Probably, but
I think it's okay. I mean, it's how we both know the track, so that's
the references are everywhere. I mean, we're probably just advertising our endurance races.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Come and join us, people. It's pretty fun. I promise. Put Vance onto the bench. No, I'm kidding.
Tours Endurance, red, blue, and bench.
That's an interesting camera angle. Thank you for that. As Tats goes into the left-hander. Oh, Toto has retired. What happened to Toto? Yellow flags in sector 3, so I wonder if he's...
so he might have bottled it.
If he's thrown it in the wall
I'll
somewhere.
ask him.
That's with a real struggle to get the power down there on the exit of the left-hander. But does get there in the end. Into the penultimate corner he goes. That was quite cautious, and in fact he's pitting. So obviously not able to set a lap time this time around. Vance has got himself into the top 10 on a 32.4. He just completed his lap.
Thomas is currently really in a prime position. He is sitting in P11.
Yeah, I'm not sure he'll stay P11 though.
Oh, yeah, /P.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few drivers just behind who might look to, like, Hatsa, please. Might
Fair
look
point.
to unseat Tok Thomas from that position.
So he didn't crash, by the way.
Okay.
Just didn't want to make another lap, so he retired his car. And at the moment, if I see that right, okay, Sergius is now going out, which is an important decision for him, because I was about to say he could have just bottled his race in the qualifying already, because I think if the one stop is possible and he goes out on super softs, what is he going to stop onto? He isn't making it with supers into ultras. He can't do double supers, and super softs into normal softs is slower than ultras into softs. So
yeah, absolutely.
That wouldn't really be a good idea to do that then. And I was already wondering what he's doing. But
he's
seems like he thought better of it.
Yeah, he's just barely in the top 10 at the moment, so he might get kicked out of the top 10. Who's that? That's oh yeah, Bant, king of quali. Yeah, absolutely. So good stuff from Bant. He's got him. Oh, he's in 11th. That's kind of where you want to be. That's it's going to work out for him, because I think he's gonna get free tire choice. We see Sergios now. We're going to go on board with Sergios here. Oh, never mind, we're not. We got the revs bug.
Isn't worth too much here. It just takes like 1 or 2 laps of wear away from your qualifying tires. And that's it. It doesn't give you a major advantage. I mean, you could, for some reason, go onto super softs, and if you crash, then you put them away earlier or something like that. But yeah, it's not something you normally calculate with when you're doing your strategy.
Here is Sergios then going through the S's. We're going to go on board with him, even though he's got the revs bug, which is quite unfortunate. He swings wide there in the right-hander. Straight lines the left-hander as much as possible. Down the hill now into the left-hand hairpin. Keeping
Interesting
an eye on the
lighting
times as well.
In the moment.
Yep, that's quite bright, isn't it?
Shimmering. Car was shimmering green for me, so...
Oh, nice.
Whatever.
So down the back straight goes Sergios into the left-hand hairpin. Oh, and he locks up there and runs very wide. That was a pretty major error.
I think that... Oh, Anonymous puts it in P2.
Oh, good stuff from Anonymous.
Jason's still on the lap. Copy probably also still on the lap, and Edley's also still on the lap, so he wants to avoid being dethroned by Sergios. That mistake, I don't think he'll be able to challenge the victory away from Edney.
Oh, and he's got traffic here as well. He's got a Haas in front of him. That must be Tats. It is Tats. As he comes across the line now, he ran a little bit wide there. Has he improved? He has improved, but only 4. So,
and where's Jason?
Wow, it's so close as well between the three of them.
Straight into the braking zone now, and in contrary to Sergius, he does look up. He nails the apex in a beautiful way, and Edney didn't improve too much. I don't know if you mentioned it. Sorry. So now he's running.
He improved at all.
Quite a technical one. Nails the apex again, now trying to get the most momentum he can get out of that section, carry it. And that looks good to me. Will he be able to improve though? Because if he improves just by 4,000ths of a second, then he will be able to jump Anonymous for P3. But Copy now, it's Michael! But that was...
But he does improve,
So Jason gets himself
onto the front row. Oh, and Speedy as well, P4 with a 1 minute 31.150.
And he loses the wheel.
So Speedy.
Wait, what happens to his wheels now if you knock them off? I think because in 2017, I think I had that once where I tried to take my wheel off on purpose in Korea, once to get rid of the tires, and then they just decided, oh yeah, you're definitely having 20% wear on each. More.
Okay, yeah, I don't know, to be honest. That's a good question.
That would be interesting.
But yeah, we'll see. Oh, maybe he gets fresh tires. If he gets fresh tires, that's a big advantage. But I
think then it would be an abusable strategy everyone would do all the time.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I think so too. So that is our grid. It's Etney, as expected, I think, on pole, 3/10 ahead of Jason. And then Copy and Speedy on the second row, and Sergios all the way down on the third row of the grid with a 1:31.277. We saw the final lap. It was a little bit scrappy from him, and that is not where he will want to be to round out this championship. So, that's qualifying done, and as per usual, it's time for the race. And here at, and I've realized why the game sounds were so quiet, I apologize. Fixing that now, but there we go. That is the end of the qualifying session, and we're going to see the formation lap in just a second. Triton, by the way, was 5/10 up on his lap, and that would have certainly improved him from P9, which is where he's going to start. P9, not a great position to start in, because you don't get tyre choice, and you're not at the front of the grid either. So there we go. So the drivers head off. Speedy decides he wants to overtake Jason, and then lets him back through again as they head up towards turn 1. So I don't know, it's going to be an interesting race. It'll be interesting to see what Sergios can do from way back down in 7th, because we haven't really seen for a little while either of the championship contenders fighting their way through the field from the start of the race, and Sergios going to have to do that in this one, as the cars go through Sector 1 into Sector 2 now. And very good qualifying from both Jason and Copy. We've seen Jason, he's been improving a bunch in these races, and that is really good to see him on the front row of the grid as Jesse gets himself disqualified for some reason. And people keep messaging me on Steam, which is kind of annoying. Oh, Tipsy needs an invite. Let's try and... Oh dear, that's going to be awkward. Needs invite if possible. Sorry for the black screen, folks. No. I don't know. Tipsy does. He's got kicked out. So I've messaged Ocean, and we will see if Ocean is able to invite him.
Okay.
The drivers. So yeah, that's why Tipsy's not in the race at the moment. He's we don't see his car on the grid at all. So
that will be close. They are already on the line now.
Yeah. I think it's going to be too late. So Tipsy's not going to. Yeah, Tipsy's not going to get to start this race, unfortunately, which is a real shame for him. He once again, as the drivers park themselves on their grid slots, ready for the start of this race. Sorry about that.
Sergios
has left the session. What happened there then? So Sergios has been kicked
problems?
Or connection problems or something?
Really big. Huge for the championship.
Yep, it could be. So yeah, Sergios with the championship lead. Yep, he is ghosted.
He stopped the game.
here we go with the start of the American Grand Prix. 5 lights and out they go. Very good start from Speedy. He got a jump on Jason by the looks of it as they come off the line. Jason trying to defend to the inside.
Already
Speedy going to the inside again. Jason takes the lead up the inside. Dives at the inside. Oh no, Williams diving all the way up the inside there. That was Michael and Anonymous going around. Oh, and yeah, Anonymous. Oh, and a bunch of cars into the wall.
And we lost
Gloves and steering wheel has retired, and a bunch of cars all in all sorts of trouble. Absolute chaos at the start of the race.
So we have some time to breathe and talk about what just happened. So what did I see? I saw, I think Anonymous was the first one to get caught up. He was on the outside, and someone basically went into his side. Lots of penalties getting dropped. /LP, Jesse, I think Ocean Chief. Lots of people with penalties. Tipsy Bob looks like no, he is not done race. Okay, had a weird display bug by the looks of it. And Vance all swap into P6. I think Anonymous got spun round, and then we had cars running into each other left, right, and center. Everyone collected the pack. No one could avoid it really. And then the second thing I saw might have been Anonymous again. I know it was a Renault going off to the left of turn 1, so on that little straight there, and towards turn 2 I saw cars going off into the barrier on the left, also crashing into each other. And safety car restart as Please takes 3 positions at the restart, and Jason is still in the lead, so that quick restart caught me off guard. I thought I had like a lap to...
So yeah, good stuff from Jason. He got himself into the lead up the inside there. Michael went with a huge dive up the inside and knocked, I think, Speedy and a couple of other people out of the way, and he did manage to get that position, but I wonder whether he's going to get the wrath of the stewards at the end of this race, because that was a real dive up the inside with no real hope of making it stick cleanly. But he is obviously quite fast, as Jason and Etney now, in fact, that's the display lying to me. There is actually quite a big gap between them as they go through the S's. Copy behind in 3rd, Michael in 4th, Hartzer having a very good start to the race in 5th, and Bantz as well, all the way up from 12th on the grid up to 6th.
Jesse also came from P19, is now in P10, so it will be interesting to see how he gets going in this race.
Good stuff.
Also, pretty much the 2 unluckiest drivers with the... Bantz braking really late behind Hartzer there. The 2 unluckiest drivers with the lap 1 crash were probably Anonymous, who got collected twice if I'm not mistaken, and then Gloves and Steering Wheel, whose wheel just got knocked off. I think he was trying to take a swing for the right-hand corner, and Sergius needs an invite.
Well, huge battle here for P5. Hartzer having to defend from Bantz. Bantz trying to go around the outside of the left-hander, but that's not going to work. Can he do the switch back around the outside of the right-hander? That's not going to work either. Speedy's lurking as well behind these 2. We're on board with Speedy at the moment in the Haas in P7, as the 2 in front once again looking to battle a lot. Hartzer runs a little bit wide on the left-hander. Into the final corner he goes. Jason with the fastest lap of the race on lap 2. Etney soon beats it from P2. As DRS once again enabled, well, not once again, for the first time enabled on lap 3 of this race. It'll be first used on the back straight again. Bantz on those super soft tyres, trying to get Hartzer, trying to unseat Hartzer, who's on the soft tyres as they go into the S's again. Good action from these 2. We're going to stay on board with Speedy for a little while, because there's some real action between these 2 drivers. Up front, Michael is pressuring Poppy, in fact, for 3rd place. Speedy has got himself a penalty already on lap 3, so 3 warnings for him. So, /LP and Danico going to the pits. Maybe they had something happening between them. I'm not sure, I didn't see it. Yep, I don't know. They're right at the back.
Invites are not working by the looks of it. I just threw Ocean Chief out of a rhythm because I tried to get Sergius in. So that is huge. Well,
Sergius
really is.
Sergius is still a ghost. So he is definitely not in the race. So yeah, he's not going to be scoring any points by the looks of it, which is pretty big for the championship. Etney is how many points behind? 37?
I'll have a look. Keep it on the action, I will tell you.
Okay, so Michael We see now Michael running all sorts of wide in a few places. Bance has managed to get past Hartzer. We missed that happening on track. So Bance up to P5 in the Ferrari. Speedy now is going to be having a good look, I think, at the Red Bull in front of him. Both of them have DRS, of course, because Bance is there too. As Hartzer covers the inside, has a little bit of a look on Bance, but nothing really doing there as they go down into the S's once again. This is Sector 1. It's pretty spectacular on board, but we're going to watch from afar as Hartzer and Speedy both right together through the S's. Speedy on those ultra soft tyres, of course. So he's got much more grip, and he's being held up a lot here by Hartzer through this first sector.
Last race was won by Etni ahead of Sergius, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So then we are at a 30-point gap. If Etni wins this and Sergius doesn't get any points, then it is 5 points left between them.
Wow,
so the last 3 races, which would be great for the championship and really bad for Sergius.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is not his fault, so that makes it even worse. Tats gets disqualified in the meantime.
Yeah, I don't quite know how he managed to get disqualified, but Speedy does manage to get the move done eventually. Past Hartzer, they're side by side as they go into the right-hander. Maybe he hasn't got it done yet. Hartzer runs a little bit wide, understeers into Speedy. Didn't really give him racing room there. They're still side by side into the left-hander, through the long left-hander. And he does eventually have to give that one up, does Hartzer, but Speedy forcing his way past. Good stuff from the Haas driver. He can now set off after Bance. As we see up front, there is going to be, I think, a battle for the lead very shortly indeed, because Etni is 4/10 behind Jason as they go into the first corner. Jason showing really good pace in that Force India. He's able to stay ahead of Etni. He's lap 5 now as they go into the S's. And here is the onboard shot. Etni on the long right-hander, right behind Jason. To the left and then into the long right again. Jason again having to just hold up on the apex there. He parked it on the apex just for a second. Etni still only a couple of car lengths behind, having a look to the inside as they go into the hairpin, but not close enough. But he's going to want the run out of the hairpin now, and he is in absolutely perfect position. /LP does the fastest lap of the race on a fresh set of super soft tyres. Etni now is going to go to the outside, and I think is going to get the move done relatively easily into the hairpin. Oh, Jason is still there,
holding in his nose, and they are still side by side. I think they gave each other.
Yep, no contact between the two of them. Jason has to yield into the right-hander. Good stuff though, and Etni takes the lead of this race.
Is he a naughty boy? Looks like he wants to stay as close as he can. DRS on the main straight, yes?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, not the best run he gets out of here, but if he can stay close enough, he might be able to take revenge on the first into turn 1. This run is now important, and it looks like he doesn't get his car turned in quite the way he wanted to, effective with the penalty, and he is definitely not going anywhere in turn 1. So close stuff. He might be on the verge of losing Etni out of touching range, basically.
Yep, absolutely. So the top 4
and
still all together.
Oh, never mind. Okay, it looked in the camera angle. It looked like Michael and Copy were really close, when in fact they weren't.
Yeah, they're not that
close. Instead of getting closer, staying close to the Sauber of Etni, is now getting chased down by the Sauber of Copy. So that's definitely not what he wants to have happening to him.
Another penalty for Speedy as he gets himself, that's his second penalty. So /LP, another fastest lap of the race. It's at 35.9, I think. Down the back straight then, Jason has lost DRS on Etni. Copy now going to have a look. Jason covers the inside line. They're going to be side by side as they go into the braking zone. Jason does have the inside though. I wonder if Copy can look for a switchback. He doesn't. Jason again able to cover the inside into the right-hander and keeps that position for now, and Michael almost runs into the back of Copy there in the right-hander. Bance is catching this group as well on those super soft tyres, so he's going to have a tyre advantage very soon, and he is going to be on the back of that group.
Yes, he definitely will. Also, I think Copy and Bance were the ones who were still fighting for, I think, P4 in the championship, so that could be interesting as well. If it isn't for the top guys. I mean, I called I called the top battle for the championship boring at a point, but now this completely throws everything upside down anyways. But it could also be interesting for P4 now, with bands getting closer, as you said. So now Michael and Copy are closer to each other than Copy and Jason. Running through the S's, Michael gets a lot more momentum, almost having to be careful, with the difference in velocity being quite high there. Jason not nailing the apex.
Wide. Oh, Michael cut the inside of the right-hander there, so he got a penalty for that. So that's 3 more warnings for him. So he has 3 seconds. Now Copy to the inside.
Really he sends it to the inside and he touches Copy in the rear. Don't think that gave him damage, but now he might become a sitting duck.
And Michael almost loses it.
Never mind.
So Bance to the inside and Copy also past Jason there. Jason now without the DRS. Bance might even have a look at him as they go into the left-hander. Bance manages to get the braking done.
Inside braking, side by side back positions for now. P3, Jason still having half his car length besides Bance. They're running side by side through technical.
Oh, and Michael goes off the road.
Oh
dear.
But
manages to recover.
Bance has surpassed Jason for now. That is Jason.
Well, they were still side by side there as they went into the right-hander, but Jason, having to yield. Oh, Bance made a mistake though in the left-hander, so Jason's going to be very close, I think, out of the last corner. They still continue for another lap. Etney pits from the lead, so Etney's the first one to pit with a scheduled pit stop in this race on lap 7. But yeah, it looks like Bance. I mean, Bance is P2 right now, which is a net P3, and he's going to be chasing down Copy potentially as well, because he's going to be on better tyres. He's got those super soft tyres. Rather than the ultra soft, so
yes,
we'll see whether he's able to chase him down. Bance cut the corner there. He's going to get a warning for that. Michael gets himself another penalty, so that's 2 in 2 laps for him.
Yeah, that was went downhill pretty quickly for him, and he almost spins out there. So Michael's car doesn't seem
struggling with tyres, I'm sure.
Yeah, he doesn't look too planted.
Yeah.
His car doesn't look planted.
Yeah, reasonably sure he's struggling
at every
tyres.
acceleration zone. Looks like the car's getting away from him. Speeding P5 behind him, 1.8 seconds is the gap. So he might try to close that down, /LP getting a penalty. Ocean Chief is in P7 at the moment, and he will be under attack shortly by Triton, who is in P8.
Yep, he is.
Triton start in P9. Okay. Danico penalty.
Yep, Danico right at the back, having some struggles. So not been a great race for him so far. I think he was involved in the lap 1 melee with Anonymous and everybody else who's all the way at the back there. And just a reminder, El Sergio's not managing to start this race. It's his ghost running around at the moment because he does not have connection to the server as Triton goes into the pits, and there's a bunch of people in fact who have pitted from the top few positions on the grid. We see the pit lane now. This is Michael here who comes out of the pit lane. Speedy pits as well, and they fit the soft tyres onto his car. Everyone going onto the soft tyres by the looks of it, so that looks like a one stop for everyone. And still out at the moment are Bance, who has a pretty big lead right now on those super soft tyres, and then Hartzer P2, Ocean Chief P3. They are the 3 who are still out, who have not yet pitted, and the others have all pitted and are running pretty much as they were before that. Etney still in the lead by some distance, about a 3-second lead over Copy, who's his next closest challenger.
Yeah, meanwhile, in real time on the Discord of our racing league, Jason, probably in the time he was in the pits, wrote something about F-wording tires. So, yeah, not going too well for him on tires, definitely, so that might have been his issue. He hasn't nailed the apexes in the last laps before his pit stop, so probably his tires were completely toast. Now he is on super soft, and he wants to take that position from Copy by wow, that was a surprise move. It was like a tiger pretending not to strike, and then suddenly he's there and he's ripping you apart, or in this time just taking P6 off you.
Yep, absolutely. It was beautifully done as Effective goes into the pits. He is 5th on the road, but won't be for very long, as Jason did manage to get that move done on Copy. Copy obviously not managing to get his tyres up to temperature quite as quickly, and Jason taking that what was P6 and is in fact a net P2 on the road behind Etney. The others, of course, yet to pit. It'll be interesting to see where Bance comes out as well, because I think Bance will lose a little bit of time on those old super soft tyres to the people who put fresh soft tyres on. But I don't know how much, and he's going to have a tyre advantage for the rest of the race once he comes into the pits. So could be good stuff from Bance towards the end of this race. He was running pretty well up there in P4.
Chief staying out for quite a long time. What are his tires like? 9-lap old super soft, so he is fine.
Yeah, well, I think there's I mean, the people who started on super softs were Effective came into the pits last lap, but both Bance and Ocean have not yet come into the pits. So I imagine it'll be within the next couple of laps that they will come in, as Bance I think started lap 10, so he's not coming in this lap. Ocean going to come into the final couple of corners now. We'll see whether he decides to pit this time. He does not, so he's staying out for at least one more lap. He lost 3 seconds that last lap to Etney though, and Etney is going to be chasing down Hartzer now for what is P2 on the road, but of course they're off sync in terms of strategy. Etney with the much better tyres.
Wait, is Etney on softs, right?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Okay, because the game just plays him in-game with Ultra Soft.
Okay.
But nope, the leaderboard says he's on soft, so thank you, Codemasters. You're really doing what you promise in your lane. Totally. So...
Having to wait behind here, though. He's losing a lot of time here to Hartzer, because he's having to stay behind him. And onto the back straight they go. And once again, yeah, he's gonna have him this time without any real problem. But through that first sector, he will have lost probably a second or so to Hartzer.
That sounds realistic. Hartzer, who likes to take unconventional strategies. We also saw him in Singapore, basically holding everyone up because his tires were much worse, and he was just taking seconds out of everyone who had to pass him. Nothing to blame there, it's just unconventional strategies, and they work out fine, but they may be an annoyance for other people. As Jason goes around the outside of Ocean Chief, nice move. Ocean Chief didn't bother struggling as well, so he did just stick to his line and...
yeah, he did. Bance pits from the lead, so Bance on lap 11 has decided to pit. He is going to come out behind Jason. Please retires, yeah, from no yellows, so I suspect that was a frustration retirement. Bance is going to be just behind Michael by the looks of it, into the first corner side by side. Had to back out of it, has to give Michael that, and he's going to have to take a few corners to get his tyres warmed up as well. As, yeah, Tipsy and Sergios both in chat, unfortunately with the bad luck. And Clark Martin also in chat. Hey guys. Hey Clark. Hope you're enjoying. As Triton gets himself a 3-second time penalty for some more of those warnings. Bance is going to be all over the back of Michael very shortly indeed. Bance did lose about 4 or 5 seconds to that group in front. He was with them before the pit stop, and yeah, in those 3 laps or so that he was on old tyres, he lost some time. So he's going to have to make that up in this second stint. He will have 3-lap fresher tyres to do it.
We'll have a look in the meantime who got penalties for the massive lap 1 incident, because of course it was quite spectacular and also quite messy. And I saw stop-go penalties getting thrown around here and there, so I'll have a look.
Yep, that's a good idea. Meanwhile, Etney has a lead now of about 6 seconds on Jason. Harzer, of course, is out of sync. He has to pit very soon indeed, I would have thought, on those... Well, probably not that soon. Those soft tyres do last a while. Another 3 seconds for Speedy. So Speedy has quite a few penalties, as we see up in the distance. Jason going up the inside of Harzer and managed to get that move done for second place on the road. Ocean Chief from P5 pits, and that must be a penalty, I would have thought, as he has to wait in the pits.
Speaking of penalties, the penalties for lap 1 were basically given to Jesse. He got 3 stop-go penalties in that incident, so he got 1 for a severe collision with gloves and steering wheel, probably the one that took off said driver's tire. Then he got 1 for colliding with Danico and gaining places off track, and a severe collision with Ocean Chief. And Ocean Chief has got 2 penalties for colliding with gloves and steering wheel and getting positions after colliding with Danico.
Yeah,
and also Thomas has taken 1. So basically, these 3 are splitting 6 penalties between them.
I actually think there were some penalties as well, as Vance goes up the inside. Michael has at least a look. Doesn't manage to get it done just yet. I actually think there were some penalties given for some further contact while the safety car was out as well. I didn't see it on track, but the timing of the penalty suggests that there will have been something like that, as Vance all over the back now of Michael. He's got Speedy just behind as well. Vance looks to the inside. They're going to be side by side through the long right-hander. Michael doesn't really give him credit for that, and Vance has to back out as they go into the final couple of corners. Running a little bit wide there, Vance, but managed to keep it on track for the most part through the last corner. Down the front straight once again as Speedy lies in wait.
Copy goes down the inside of Harzer, really late move. Harzer probably missed his apex by quite a margin there, and then...
Still side by side between Michael and Vance as they go into the S's. Who's going to give this one? Oh, Vance goes off! Oh, Vance into the wall! Oh, no, he wasn't willing to back out of that one, and he pays the price, because Michael took his apex and Vance retires. Oh, dear. So, some amount of salt, I would imagine, for Vance after that one. Didn't really see whose fault it was, but hard racing between the two of them, and Vance pays the price.
By the way, for Please's car, I was on board with Jesse, and I just saw the car of Please rejoining the track without a front wing, so he may have bottled it, lost the front wing, and then retired out of frustration. So that is my take on that. Danico, I couldn't find where he retired.
Okay, Speedy down the inside of Michael for P5. That happened while you were talking there down the back straight.
Okay, I just had
we have another virtual safety car, and Anonymous gets himself a penalty for speeding under virtual safety car, which is interesting because the virtual safety car hasn't ended yet, as far as I can see.
Oh no, wait. Maybe.
But that's one of those penalties that you can't clear, isn't it? So he's going to be disqualified. Unfortunately, this is one of the things about the game. If you get, and there's the notification that DRS has been enabled, so no more safety car. Harzer pits from P4, I think, and he will put the super soft tyres on. He benefited a little bit from that virtual safety car.
Changed his strategy up there. His original plan was probably to stretch the soft tyres to the point where he could just do the final stint, a short one on ultra softs, but now he has changed plans after after 14 laps on his soft tyres. He will go for his second stint, which will be 14 laps on the super soft tyres. It is possible. We saw Vance doing 11 laps. If Harzer drives a bit conservatively, then he'll definitely be able to reach the end of the race. With this set of tyres, he might have a bit of a struggle towards the end, but he should be fine. So that is interesting. Michael is fairly close to Speedy, both on the same strategy.
I think Speedy has the pace on him. I think he pulled away a little bit in the first sector, but yeah, Michael able to gain a little bit there down the back straight with the DRS and Slipstream advantage. So he's going to want to stay in that second zone for as long as possible, in that 1 second zone for as long as he possibly can, because that's quite a big advantage on this track. They're long DRS straights, that give you probably 0.3 of a second or so if you have DRS through those periods. So Michael wanting to stay close to Speedy, as Speedy again runs a little bit wide, and he is noticeably faster there than Speedy was, Michael, out of the penultimate corner. Now through the last corner, not really close enough this time. Maybe he is actually, he definitely is close enough, because DRS is going to drag Speedy towards him. Michael goes down the inside, goes in quite deep, but gets it stopped. Nicely done between the two of them. Doesn't really get the exit. Speedy almost runs into the back of him, side by side into the S's now. Speedy is going to have his nose ahead just a little bit, and Michael has to give up the position. Good racing between the two of them, as Triton gets himself a penalty just behind in P6.
Yeah, so Speedy comes, Speedy defends his position, right? Yeah. At the place where Benz collided with Michael the last time. Adds Speedy a bit more lucky there, you could argue.
Yeah, I think so.
Looks like he's struggling a bit through the S's at the moment, but that was probably just one poor run, so nothing dramatic.
Michael close enough here to at least think about having a look on Speedy down the inside. Beautifully done, he got it stopped. Speedy braking a little bit earlier. Speedy down the inside into the right-hander. Goes a little bit deep, but does again manage to get it done. Michael not really able to do the undercut. As and almost just tagging the back of him there, Michael. Just about again getting it stopped, but good stuff. Really good racing between the two of them. Speedy staying in fourth place for now.
As if Speedy had gotten a bit of a worse exit, I would suspect Michael had run into the back of him, and he might have spun him around. But I mean, it didn't happen, so everything's fine.
Yeah, here we go again though. Speedy having a look to the inside. Oh, there's a late move from Speedy as they went into the braking zone. Michael having to back out of it, and again Speedy took the apex as though he wasn't there, so a collision between the two of them. These two now racing a little bit harder than they were before, and this is the sort of situation in which you can see it ending in tears potentially, because Speedy not willing to give anything up, and Michael trying to force his way through, and really struggling at the moment to deal with Speedy. He lost a lot of time though in the first sector though, so
Triton is getting really close to him.
He is.
He's currently running in P6. He started, I think, in P9 it was, and now he is in P6, close to Michael and Speedy, so he might be the winner of this situation and able to maybe get past one or two of these cars. Now he has got open DRS and Slipstream on Michael. He moves to the inside, late braking, a bit of a lockup. They are still side by side as Michael steers into his side. He probably lost it a bit on track to the van, was quite lucky that Triton was there, so he collected a spin. At least that's what it looked like in onboard view. So a bit scrappy again. Lots of touching between the cars of the drivers here. Maybe stewards will have a bit of a look at that. Questionable. And the
Yep, you're breaking up a little bit there, Thimo. Don't know quite why, as Michael goes very far to the inside, as Triton just behind him. It was a little bit of oversteer from Michael, but Speedy got himself a little bit of a gap now. 1.2 seconds between the Haas and the Williams of Michael. I don't know if he's going to be able to stretch that out. I suspect that he might through the first sector. He seems to be a little bit faster through the first sector. And Michael, not really getting that the apex there hooked up of the left-hander, as Triton backs it into the left-hander and then goes through the right and then left complex at the end of sector 1. Triton running very wide, trying to get close as they go into the hairpin onto the long straight.
Okay, I can hear you again. This
okay,
was like 80% package loss for me, so now I will also be back.
Yeah, you seem like you're back now. That's really good. Vance says that was epic. Well, yeah.
Okay, what's that?
Did Triton hit the back of Michael there? I thought I saw a bit of front wing flying off. I don't know, but it might be that Triton suffered some damage there.
That will
see the front wing on that car. It looks alright to me, I don't know. But I thought I saw a little bit of front wing. And yeah, he's fallen off the back of Michael, so I wonder if Triton did get a little bit of damage there. Must have been some sort of lag or desync or something like that, because it was just on the straight. It wasn't under braking or anything like that. It looked like he just drove into the back of him, so obviously something went on there.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was trying to fix my Discord. So I can't tell you, unfortunately. It looks like he has dropped off the back of Michael a bit.
Yeah.
See if he'll be able to come back. He should be, and I've got the next tire back because Triton is running super soft for me.
Nope, he's running soft tires, so he's going to be going to the end of the race on those soft tires, I'm pretty sure. Everyone now, I think, in the race is going to be going to the end.
Yeah, I assume so. So everyone is on either on softs or on pretty fresh super softs that will make the end of the race.
Yeah.
So /LP and hardset, that is.
So just to take stock a little bit, now that we've got a little bit of a quieter moment, it's Etney who's going to win this race unless something weird happens. He is 13 seconds out in front of Jason in P2, who's had very good pace all the way through. Copy in third, Speedy in fourth. Those guys look like they're pretty set. Then a fight now, and it is a fight once again between Michael and Triton. Triton closing all the way on the back straight there, and yeah, as you said, Ocean Chief with the 3-second penalty from P8.
By the way, who did we give driver of the day to last time?
We gave it to... I don't remember.
Okay,
Sergios was unhappy that he didn't get it. I think we gave it to Speedy. We gave it to Speedy.
Yeah, we gave it to Speedy.
Yeah. So Speedy getting driver of the day. But they're going to go over the line now. 9 laps to go in this one. It's been action-packed so far. A little bit quieter now. Settled down a little bit. We've got /LP coming through the field. And he's going to be passing Effective quite soon, I think, on those ultra-soft tyres compared to Effective's soft tyres, which won't be very effective for him at this point. Not very much grip.
Wow.
DRS open. It's going to be a pretty simple move, I think, to the inside. Effective knows that /LP is on much better tyres, and so just lets him through nice and easily with a minimum of fuss. No time lost, really, for Effective at all.
Yeah, he just slashed through in an effective way, so that is good then.
So a second and a half now is the gap between Triton and Michael. That's looking back from Triton, which we don't particularly want to do. We want to look forward instead to Michael, and that is the gap, and Speedy pulling away from the two of them. So Speedy looks like he might have that 4th position back in the pack. Effective might be under threat now from Toto as well.
Exactly. It's 1 second. I don't think he'll get DRS just now.
I think he probably will. He crosses. Yep, he gets it. Yep.
Okay, so the intervals lied to me. But it was just a close margin, so it was possible. But of course, Effective also. Wait, did he have DRS? No.
Effective did not have DRS, no. Okay. It was just Toto. A very good point by Noel in chat. Hi, Noel. Speedy has lots of penalties. So it might be that Triton, and Michael has penalties too, so it might be that Triton is in the best position there to get that 4th place.
I will have a look.
And actually as well, Hartzer is catching. He's on much newer tyres and he's on super soft compared to softs. So it might be, as we see Effective making a mistake there. Thomas having a look up the inside. Triton gets himself a penalty as well. So maybe not. Yeah. But Speedy has at least 2, I know that. And I don't know if it's more than 2 as Thomas down the inside now into turn 1. Does he manage to get the move done? I think he has, and yeah, Effective has to yield, at least for now. So into sector 1 they go, as Thomas gets himself into a points-paying position. And while further up, /LP all over the back now of Ocean Chief. And Michael has caught up to Speedy again for P4, so Speedy obviously not able to make a break. And Michael now going to be in as we get towards the end of this race. I wonder, Speedy's tyres, he does like to abuse his tyres, and it might be that Michael is going to get faster as the race progresses, as we get towards the end of the race. Triton has fallen off the back a little bit of those two. but still only 2 seconds behind.
So, by the looks of it, it is well possible that I didn't see something. But by the looks of it, it is 9 seconds for both Speedy and Michael and 6 seconds for Triton.
Okay, so that sounds about right to me. Oh, Michael gets another 3.
6 seconds on Michael.
Yep, so Michael is going to have to not only pass Speedy at the moment, but also pull out an extra 3 seconds on him. Triton only has to stay within 3 seconds of the two of them.
Ocean Chief, meanwhile, probably about to get attacked by SlashLP into turn 1, but SlashLP got a really poor run out of the last turn. He'll still send it pretty late down the inside, and pretty late on the inside. Ocean Chief has to run wide a bit, or he ran wide naturally, one of those two. But the result is the same. SlashLP picking up P8, so great stuff from him as he loses the car and runs onto the red concrete, that is, I think, and gets himself the next 3 seconds time penalty. I think he's currently the one who has collected most of them. So
Etney gets someone as well.
But with 15 seconds, I don't think that will make that much of a difference.
Not even a small amount of difference, I'm afraid. So Etney going to win this race pretty comfortably as Michael runs very wide there on the exit of the left-hander. That'll cost him quite a lot of time, I think, to Speedy, and yeah, he's outside of that 1 second window once again, so a little bit of a battle back and forth between these two, but at the moment Triton is in the best position of all of them because he only has the 2 penalties, whereas the others have at least 3.
By the way, just something to catch up again. Lap 3, Tuts got disqualified, and the game says that the reason for that was being parked in a dangerous location. So I don't know how to interpret that.
I don't know either.
Was he blocking pit lane? Was he just standing around somewhere? I can't tell you. It is sometimes it's a bit of a mystery what this game does and what it doesn't.
Yeah, that certainly is a mystery. What's not a mystery is the fact that Michael is about to have a go, I think, at Speedy here. He's very close. Going into the hairpin, and Speedy struggling to get it slowed down as well. Michael almost running into the back of him. So here we go. Michael down the back straight, has DRS open, of course.
Maybe send it.
Looks to the inside. Michael having a good look up the inside, does manage to get it slowed down, and very nicely done. Speedy tries to get the exit, but Michael covers it off, at least for the moment. Speedy going to have to go around the outside here. That's not a very helpful camera angle. Tries to shove it up the inside again, and just about does. Pushes Michael off the track, but then locks up. Has to give up that position again. Michael runs very wide. Speedy almost loses it.
So there was a lot of switcheroo going on. So the thing on the straight was Speedy at first deciding to cover the inside line, and then he thought Michael isn't close enough, and then he suddenly came close enough and was able to take the inside. That was what happened then. Then
absolutely.
It was just them
so Michael once again here, 5 laps to go. Speedy to the inside. Michael trying to go around the outside again. Speedy able to cover that off, at least for the moment, and Triton is lurking all the while behind these two as well. So good stuff in the last 5 laps here at COTA.
Yeah, looks like he learned his lesson. I don't think he will give up the inside line that easily next time. So
yeah, I would have thought so.
We'll see.
But of course, Triton is in the best position of these cars here. Michael has to pull out 3 seconds. Yep.
In net.
Yep, absolutely. So into the hairpin they go. Michael again close enough, and he got a pretty good run out of the hairpin that time. So we're going to see now whether he's able to pull alongside. I think he will pretty comfortably. Speedy goes to the inside. Speedy has to cover all the way to the inside. Michael goes to the outside instead. Speedy, and they just about managed to get it slowed down. A lot of wheel banging again on the exit. Speedy loses out this time though, as he tries to send it up the inside, but again, not really able to do that. Speedy again pushing and then diving up the inside.
Can he get the car stopped? He indeed he can. So the late move down the inside there, it's pretty unpredictable, and it worked out again for Speedy. So now he's ahead, leading into lap 25 that will be.
Oh, Michael running very wide there, sends it down the inside into the last corner. Beautifully done. He's going to have DRS as well though. Oh, and Michael almost loses it on the exit. But, wow, and Triton is going to be right there as well. But I don't think he's close enough.
Triton doesn't know the situation of penalties Speedy has. And Thomas is retired. I'll investigate for a second. Jesse is meanwhile off track. He's spun. So both Dutchies having a bit of trouble at the moment. So, yeah, Triton doesn't know that Speedy has got more penalties than him. So he might be really keen on staying as close as he can and maybe making that overtake on the track. As long as he's behind Michael, he's unable to check for Speedy's penalties. He can only see what penalties Michael has collected.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I think Michael will have DRS on Speedy this time, so he's not going to lose too much contact. Seems to be faster than him anyway at this point in the race. Speedy is having to defend for his life. Yeah, he does have DRS, so Triton as well has DRS, so Triton just wants to keep these two in reasonably close contact.
Okay. So unfortunately I cannot tell you what happened to Thomas. I just know that his car was parked somewhere in Sector 3, but I can't tell you what happened to him.
Okay, so Thomas, unfortunately, he was in the points, so something must have happened. I doubt he just retired out of frustration or anything like that.
I thought he was in P11.
Oh, was he P11? Okay, maybe effective past him. Yeah, I don't know. All right, here we go again. Round 5 or 6 or whatever it is between Speedy and Michael. Speedy covers the inside, at least for the moment. Yeah, 3 to go between these two. Speedy backs Michael up on the apex a little bit there. Michael just trying to get the best exit he possibly can.
Michael always risking to get a warning or a penalty there by running up.
Yeah,
he didn't get a warning risk, but it is possible to get one there. And as the track limits are pretty inconsistent, it's always a risk you have to take if you want to try something there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Michael, half a second behind now. Maybe close enough to have a look if he gets a good run out. Going to get the best run out he possibly can. 6:10, so he got a better run out than Speedy did, that's for sure. And he's going to be all over the back of the Haas now as they go once again into the braking zone. Speedy does take the inside this time. Again, a little bit of a late move, but Michael was expecting it this time. He goes around the outside. Is he going to be able to hold that? He doesn't not quite able to hold that, but has a look up the inside. Speedy just about gives him room on the apex, and Speedy again manages to stay ahead as they go through the twisty bit. Speedy running really very wide though as they came out of that left-hander, and again he does manage to get a little bit of a gap as they go through the long right-hander. It's almost a second and almost out of DRS range once again for Speedy.
And he's still running in...
Oh, and then he made a mistake.
Sector 3, yellow flags. He's still running in the penalty distance of Triton, who is in P6, and just lurking behind them to pick up the pieces after the penalties get applied to the drivers. Now we will run through Sector 1 again, and that is everything I'm done I've just said, because that is the 3 additional seconds onto Triton's record, so he is now only ahead of Michael with penalties.
Yep, I think that's right.
He's even with Speedy, or I miscounted something. That is also a possibility. But of course I don't make any mistakes, so yeah, that can't be it.
Well, lots of oversteer for Michael as they come into the hairpin once again. Is he going to get the run out once again like he did last lap? Not really this time. And instead it's Triton who's lurking in the background. Michael and Triton both with DRS down the straight, so the gap will close a little bit, but not close enough this time to have a look on the Haas of Speedy as Michael just about manages to get it stopped for the hairpin. Is Speedy going to be able to hold these guys off in the last lap and a half or thereabouts? Setney has started his last lap already. The other's still going around on lap 27. Michael again running wide on the exit of the left-hander, almost losing it on traction on the curb there. And once again has almost lost Speedy as they come towards the DRS detection point. Not sure he's going to have DRS even. It's going to be very close. Michael crossing the point. He does have DRS, but Triton is right with him now as they go up in towards turn 1.
Will he send it Jesse with another penalty? He doesn't send it, he thinks better of it. And yeah, sending it is pretty unnecessary because I don't think he'll be able to get speedy in time anyway. So
yeah, another 3 seconds for Michael. Yeah, he cut the left-hander there.
Yeah.
So we think at the moment that Speedy is ahead of these guys on track and on paper as well.
He'll have to really watch his metaphorical footsteps to see that he's not crossing these sneaky white lines at the start of the circuit. Because if he gets a penalty now, then it will be a disaster for him, giving away P4. He has only got sector 4, of course, yeah. Sector 3 up ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Triton is going to be having a look, I think, here on Michael. He's very close, has a look to the inside, locks a brake as well. Really struggled to get his stop. Michael gets around the outside and manages to keep the position, at least for now, as Etney wins the race. That happened a few seconds ago. So Etney wins the American Grand Prix in SLR. Jason finishing an excellent second place. Copy gets himself a penalty right at the end as well and finishes in third place. And then Speedy
He also ran out of fuel
yeah, I think he did as well, yeah. So Speedy is going to come across the line in P4. Good drive from him, and he gets it done in P4. Triton almost getting Michael on the line. That might have been close on fuel, but he does get him on the scoreboard anyway. So Triton finishes P5, and Michael finishes P6. Then behind it's Hartzer, who is going to hold off /LP by the looks of it for 7th.
Yeah, and he'll probably have the add-on penalty. /LP collected a massive amount of them.
Yeah, I think so. So Ocean Chief crossing the line as well. Crosses the line, he gets himself 2 points for P10. Gets himself for 5 seconds for the unserved stop go as well. And then Effective with his...
But why is it unserved? Can't you serve more than...
I guess that's why, yeah. If he got 2, then he'll only have been able to serve 1.
Okay.
So, Effective, did he lose 10th place? I think he lost 10th place on penalties by the looks of it.
I didn't see it, we'll have a look. That's the driver step onto the podium.
It said 11th for me, yep, the drivers. 2 Saubers on the podium. Not the first time we've seen that. It's both very fast. And yeah, and Anonymous got the got 10th place from Effective, and 18 penalties. 18 seconds worth of penalties for Effective, and none at all for Anonymous at the end of the race after being taken out in turn 1. So, there are your results. Etney from Jason from Copy, 2 Czechs on the podium, 2 Saubers on the podium, and Jason in the Force India as well. And it's time for Driver of the Day. Who is going to be our Driver of the Day for this one? What do you think, Thimo?
Oof. So this time I don't have anyone in mind, especially just some names to throw in, and that is basically Etney, Jason and thereabouts, but probably at the moment, because I don't think anyone did anything really spectacular, and Etney won by 20 seconds out of Jason, so yeah, he might be deserving of it again after having a great race. But,
yeah, maybe.
I'm up for any things you propose, so
yeah, I don't really know. I think Hartzer had a very, very good race as well. He finished 7th on keyboard, of course, showing really good pace and trying the different strategy, and it worked out. So maybe an honourable mention for Hartzer as well. That's the only other name I think I'd throw into the mix.
Okay, so
yeah. So who should we go for? Should we go for Etney as the winner by a miles again? Or
honestly, I think we should.
Yeah. All right. Etney's Driver of the Day. He won the race. He's Driver of the Day as well. So good stuff from SLR once again, delivering here at COTA. A fantastic race. And join us again, of course, for future races. 3 left this season, and then we'll have next season after that as well. It's been a great first season of SLR. Next up is Mexico. That will be next Saturday, same time, same place. The EGL YouTube channel, and 17:30 GMT, 18:30 CET. So join us for that one then. But from COTA, from both myself and Thimo, have a very good night.